continuing with our 15 games. Always, if you want to catch me live, ask me. Screen. So whenever you want to stream at 9:30 a.m. GM, some country, so we can chance to interact. My rating always changes because during streams I do play. So if you don't see a consistent rating, that is the reason. And as always, we would, you know what? Let's just switch it up a little bit today. Let's go for a colleague, just for the fun. Let's go for it. It's never bad to play your traditional lines every single, but sometimes it's good to mix. So the colle-rubenstien is a very interesting opening in the sense that it has very aggressive lines, especially with lines with f4, g4. I haven't really mastered, but in this kind of line, you play a colle, which normally would look like this, a landing without the bishop. But in the colle-rubenstien, you put your bishop here on b, and it supports some future ideas here. That example, like I said, with the f4, yes, very nice opening, very aggressive. Usually when I play this opening, I get very interesting. I do enjoy, but why I don't play it primarily is because I don't enjoy crazy things which this opening leads to. So we are just in the setup phase. The setup phase of this opening takes quite a lot of time, and mostly you are delayed by what your opponent does. If your opponent tries to play a move that may hinder you at the point, you have to stop it. You can't, you don't just hope your opponent is not aiming, right? So for example, if my opponent played knight to c6 here, I would definitely have to play a3. I'm not going to hope that he's going to maybe play bishop here, queen here on the next move. I just have to stop the potential of him coming and developing mine. So these are kind of the things you're looking for. And whenever your opponent plays e6 here, you want to play your knight simply because your opponent's bishop isn't going to be you. If your opponent takes, you take with the pawn. Even if the bishop was here on b2, if your opponent takes, you take with the pawn. It's always a good idea to control where's bishops. So a very common idea here is to play knight c6 and queen to b6. Knight c6, queen b6, and the point is to put pressure on the central squares. Again, like I said, playing here would be fine, but allowing this coming in this way is not really something you want to allow. Again, it's not so strong now since this bishop is active here. But with the ideas I have in mind, I feel I should stop this as soon as possible. Now, you don't always have to go for this idea that I was talking about. You can also go for c4. I was learning a little bit of this opening from Judith Polgar. I was watching a video she recorded many years ago. And one of the difficulties that people normally have with this position is when to go c4. It's one of the most problematic things, I think, when to go. And mostly it's when you realize your opponent gives you more opportunities on the side, then you go for it. And that is exactly like, it's not clear to me what scenario you are actually referring to. I can just castle here, but I'm not so sure about allowing this. Yeah, so I'm gonna play this first so that if ever my opponent thinks about coming here, you have to play a bit. And as with the landing system, you are still watching out for this square. My opponent played this passively. So whenever your opponent plays very passively like this, you are in no hurry to castle. Okay, but with this kind of opening, I need to ensure that the center is locked. If the center is not locked, I cannot go for this g4, f4 idea, right? It's not advisable. So I could have just castled and simply gone knight to e5, which is what you'd want to do. But you know me, I'm a safety first kind of guy. So I'm taking my time with the opening. I'm not rushing so much. Knight to e5 is not a move that my opponent can easily stop. And especially since he would have to waste time with this move. Bishop here doesn't even help him the situation. And so on and so forth. So So far, the position, white. I think sometimes the engine prefers black slightly in this position because of like how long it takes white to set up. Yeah, but okay, so it's also an idea. Again, with this idea, if you've played the London system, you know about these e4, e5 ideas causing tension on this diagonal. But we in this kind of situation want to the position as locked as we can. So I'm gonna castle here. And I mean I could play c3. C3 is definitely a move. But I'm not so interested in. If my opponent takes and I take, there's always this future idea of bringing the bishop here. And if you've watched some of my streams, attacks that come up, bishop bearing down at the way. Everything is quiet, but soon the position may explode. Actually, I should have considered my opponent trying. So bishop a6, I play c4. Pawn takes, my bishop is knight takes pawn, and I have a very solid. There's nothing to. Yeah, this very passive development that my opponent made with his bishop is really slowing. I'm always for actively developing your bishop here to d6. So with what my opponent may be trying to do, I may switch to a more solid approach and go rook to e1, knight e5, or rook to e1, not knight e5, and go e. Looking at that kind of. If takes, I think here you just block, right? I give my opponent access to this square, but then I just block. Because this move is very annoying if I have. So, I think he wants to get rid of this. But I can always get back there. How do I get back there? I can play a4, ceding this square to the knight. Bishop comes back and opponent knight. Then now I have the option of, again, pawn push here, takes, knight takes. Any of them are fine. So I think the move here is quite obvious. With a4. A4, I think is. I always have this feeling that I'm streaming when I'm recording. So bishop here does not do. I need my bishop here. I think a4, because now this move, a4 is more of the move. Takes, and now I'm gonna take him. So a4, I think is. I cede this square, but only temporarily. Bishop goes. Knight jumps all the way back. But in this, it's slightly. Interesting idea I'm looking at here is bishop here. Allowing takes. Knight has to move here to target it. If queen is a. I could also try to support rook here, allowing bishop takes, pawn takes, and now if takes, kind of fine. This is a very bad. Maybe I can. Because now if I go this way, I don't like, because you can just simply come right here back. I think that knight, that's a, it's away from the action which should happen. So I'm being, because I can more effectively. I think the knight can. Or Bishop takes rook. Because with this takes, my opponent could go I go his rook. Which one? I take. I There are other ways. I'm gonna play this awkward move. Try the game. See how good or bad of it is. I don't know. Trading might have been the best option here, but I'm not so. I'm not so confident. Again, c4 is also an idea. Funny enough, is if he plays something like queen and block it, and I now come to. So I don't usually play moves like this. I mean, normally if you attack my bishop, trade off. But like I saw it and I didn't really consider it because my main issue is not really the trading of the bishops or playing c4. My main issue is the knight. That's where my and by leaving the pawn here on there on b5, it makes it difficult for my opponent taking more. So looking at the fact that I prevent him, I am more content. But I mean, if I play takes, he just goes like knight. Pawn push is there's no problem. Or maybe now if he plays bishop, so he's going. If he plays takes. So like bishop here, I just run. He just runs into. Yeah, he runs into takes. A little bit of takes. Lots of. This is exactly why I said I don't like playing this type of openings. I've never had a non-crazy game. Maybe this move is too. Maybe the best move was allow knight takes, right, and then take here. Knight jumps back here. Then maybe that would have been the best line. Maybe that would have been. Because I'm seeing so many disturbing lines. They may just be fine, but my again, if my opponent takes here, still taking. Maybe taking with a knight here, might. Because knight is I can. The pawn's job is to hold. It's held by a bishop. Much easier. Because you can imagine you can imagine my opponent to this. if my bishop is the one, better to control pieces. Yeah, but then what's the whole point of this now? You are sneaking in, so on and so forth. One of his points here is that if I play push, I'm gonna jump it. So pawn push, you always have to calculate a little bit ahead. Pawn push, bishop takes, pawn takes, knight. That's trading. Like my bishop is not doing anything at that. Maybe change. He's coming here. Then this move. I can play here. This is. I think this is complete. I think right here actually have because I don't want the knight to come. Like regardless of what my opponent is playing, I just feel like he's playing wrong, and I also feel like my responses are not the best way to go. You know, in one of the videos I played, I can't remember which one, but I played a very interesting attack on the queen side, and it was an absolute blunder. Not the recent video, like the previous previous ones, right? Yeah, the reason why it's like the thumbnails and everything changed is because my laptop crashed, so I lost everything. That's why even sometimes the overlays look different, and I literally lost everything. And I had to start from scratch again. I couldn't find some overlays I used to use, so many things. So I had to redo, which is why the thumbnail. Yeah, the chess walkthrough. I lost lots of videos. Can't remember the password. So I don't know. Maybe I might delete those previous episodes and start all over. The fresh. Can't. It's a Ben. It was a Banner account. Like I said. So this I did see that he be like trying to access that square. I did see. Um, so I should have played c3. Take like queen. I think now bishop takes me. Bishop takes knight. Queen comes. Knight takes. I'll be down a pawn regardless. The reason I want to play bishop takes regardless rather than pawn takes. The reason I want to play bishop takes is because if I play pawn takes, queen comes in here. I can't play a certain. So if I play like bishop takes, more likely to play queen take, knight takes. Actually, knight takes is just like so he's definitely going to play. So I think I should just knight takes. I think. Yeah, I did see this, but I didn't think it was deadly on actually on. Yeah, I saw the whole queen thing, and I was thinking that in this position, okay, okay, that was my that's what I was thinking. And there was something else. Yeah, I think I should have just knight takes this. Knight takes rook. I'm looking at queen takes. That's what queen takes, and my response to queen. Actually, yeah, my response. Yeah, I think I'm just queen takes. There's no engine. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I should have. Away if you take. Could even take problems upon. Okay, have to Magnus Carlsen this. Um, bishop takes. But if I play like queen take, knight take, tempo, bishop takes, bishop takes. If queen takes, yeah, this is this. I'm still targeting after bishop here. Bishop take, then maybe he's now going to trade. Um, this knight is not on an outpost, that's for sure. This knight is not. It's kind of what I like. This is really what I do. It's a real battle of the mind, right? There's so much tension in the position. Sure, I mean, at the higher stages, it gets boring because you have to avoid like these complex lines and how to get like the most simple, solid position in the world. But at my stage, we're having fun because we don't know how to play the game. So he's looking into rook FBA. I think that's what. Because I haven't actually figured it. Rook FBA, I actually haven't. I was like thinking that the immediate answer is okay. So what could be? Queen takes rook. Get it down. Bishop takes bishop. Oh, okay. I defend the queen. But still, bishop takes bishop takes. And if bishop here, even if you play, even if you play bishop takes rook, it, yes, it is. It is. My guy is not hanging. But if you play, for example, if you decide not to just run, I think bishop takes it. Bishop takes back in the knight. So knight can't really move back there. I think bishop takes it. I looked at only one idea the time I had. There were so many other things actually. I briefly looked at the queen taking. I briefly looked at. I haven't really considered knight coming in here. I think that's just a saving grace. Knight comes in here. I play takes. And again, I have to play after bishop takes. I have to play takes here. Maybe I can play if bishop takes. I can then takes here. I don't think that. We're about to enter the blitz portion. We are in the blitz portion, but because of the 10-second increment, it's not so bad. And we all know what happens in the blitz section. I lose. So let's make sure that we keep up on time here. Take pawn here is hanging out. It's chilling. And it's an outside pass pawn, but he can. I don't know. Like my bishop there is very bad. So bishop takes. King. This is a little bit. Bishop takes rook. Queen takes. Bishop takes rook. Bishop is here. I could also just play knight here. Knight takes. Wait, please tell me that works. Knight here. If knight takes this move, then you just simply play queen. What am I even thinking? Okay. Takes. Knight here. Queen can't take here. Okay. Queen can't take. The thing is, I'll go for this line. I'll give my opponent, which is slightly better, but I'll give it to my opponent because that knight is really causing like headache. Wait, is that a blunder? That could just be a blunder. I played it without thinking, but that because you take care, I win your queen. Queen takes, I take care with check, and then I win your queen. Am I right? Oh, I have to be right about it. Yeah, you see, that's why the first line I calculated was rook takes, because I felt like you have to play rook takes first, distract my queen, then take the knight. That's what I was thinking the whole time. Yes, at the last moment. Okay, okay. This is peak chess, right? This is peak chess. The first move my opponent just snap takes, right? He just spent 8 seconds on that move. But look at this. Look at this. This is what I love. This is what I love about that. Like, look at this. Look at this. This was just 19 moves, and look how the majority of the battle took place. We're just spending time like knuckleheads on this part. Okay, that was interesting. So before we go to the analysis board, take a look. So the colle-rubenstien, like I said, so for example, this move is necessary to be played now. But you play it also to stop this, so that's fine. Then a3 is to prevent the knight from coming to b5, bishop to e7. This move is so passive, right? It's not bad in any way, but this is more aggressive, and you are immediately putting the question to me about pushing your pawn here. Immediately putting the question on me. Right now, you can't do it, but if I'm supposed to make a careless move like this, then all of a sudden, black has like very potential, putting pressure on this. Very, very crazy. Engine doesn't agree with me. Anyways, um, so everything I did here was basically set up, and there are, like I said, I mentioned two, but there are three ideas: knight e5, f4, g4. You lock the center up. There is also e4, e5. There's also e4. I have trained a lot on c4 and struggled, so I often don't go for that idea. But if I'm in the mood for it, but in this game I did not want to. And yeah, a5 here really signaled to me my opponent wanted to win my bishop, so I could play this like prophylactically and go for c4 here. But what was I worried about? There was nothing here to worry. Yeah, because you take, I take, and like I said, my center is very well defined. And these 2 pawns, I've had a position like this before, very strong. Bishop here is not an issue. I have, yeah, slide my bishop back if I want. So what was I worried about? What was I worried about? Yeah, I could have just played it prophylactically. Maybe there was something else I saw. I played a4. A4 is to prevent that. So I mean, playing this. If your opponent plays this, then there was nothing to fear. So that's note to self. What happened was there's when I was learning this open, there was a line where your opponent, right? I think this is what like got into, was like after knight here now, and I think that's what got into. So I looked at that whole position and I have to play. But looking at the position that we got the actual game, yeah, just c4. So I'm curious to see. So in this exact position, we're looking at move 7, 8, move 9, a5. What was the best idea? I didn't really get to show off my. I tried going with the e4. So a4, bishop comes. I decided to go for the interesting move. So to look at some of the ideas, takes, knight comes in, takes in this position. And I think this position is good. So I'm completely fine. Of course, I don't know what sublines. I was looking at some interesting ideas with like my opponent. Actually, that's where he should go. But let's say my opponent comes in. Okay. He has some crazy ideas with. But now that I see it visually on the board, I don't like. What was I afraid of? Right? I think my imagination is tricks when I imagine it. Like this is exactly what I saw in my mind, but it felt more oppressive because this knight is not doing anything, actually trapped. it's locked behind my. I don't know what else. And interestingly enough, I saw this in a blitz game, speed chess championship, Agnes or Vidit, one of them, where Vidit played this whole idea with getting his knight on b4, ended up going. It is a good idea, but not always. And I was thinking that that's exactly what would happen, especially since I was trying to attack the king. That is not exactly. The queen comes in there. Maybe this move was slow. I could have instantly jumped here, because if this happens, not so bad. My position looks funny. It's fine, right? It looks funny, but it's fine. Again, if my opponent doesn't do anything on like in so yeah, this just one of the, and the other one was to just take and try to develop with tempo. Try to develop the queen. Get rook back. Of all the ideas I've thought, all the ideas I've thought about is either it's even or white has a slight edge, but this is the one. But it's completely fine with this. As I'm without the engine moves, I'm just looking at the engine power on the slightly see. So have this position, and yeah, exactly. Like the moment he plays a knight here, I should be very, very visual. This move doesn't win him the game. I should be thinking about maybe. This is actually bad. Why? If he takes, can't I just take? Okay, so if he takes, that's the problem. So there's and then there's another issue. So we have to look at this rook. The pawn push. This, this, this. Not this. Is it bishop takes? I'm just guessing the move. Yeah, has to do it. I want to rush this. And yeah, my opponent kind of didn't. It's possible he didn't see this, but he spent a lot of time after I played this bishop. And I was more on this line, but he went here. And so, like I said in my calculation, take this, and it's up to me what this move is. I'm still winning here. 1, 2, 3. At this point, yeah, I just save. I think this pawn is. I didn't see it in that manner. I can understand. The queen is going to move. That's a bad. Is the queen. That's basic. Okay, so maybe that's why it like I said, it's an outside. So my opponent makes this mistake. In case you don't get it, if he plays bishop queen takes, I take first with check. That's tempo. And actually, this is even almost. Let's take it. Done. He doesn't have loaf. So then the next thing is that okay, prevent him from getting. What's the queen? Especially with right doubled. So yeah, interesting game with a lot of twists. Nice accuracy. Just one inaccuracy. Every other move was. So let's go straight into like this move. Knight. Stop. Doesn't like a4. So would they have preferred The best, yeah. We've already gone through the line. Wow. It says takes is the best, but this move is actually as position. Okay, so queen there is also best. So I should have immediately jumped here, like I said. I should have. The knight comes in there. This move, I should have taken. I was thinking he'd play rook take. Rook takes queen to e2. What? Attacking the rook, and then now I can play. Oh, okay. So I'm able to defend. So queen here attacking the rook. Backlet. If I so do. So yeah, that was actually. So my move is not bad. I'm happy about that. Takes here. So queen taking immediately is actually should have instead gone bishop takes immediately, and still you can't take bishop to d, making it different. Knight e to f3, trying to this, but actually this is a so yeah. So he missed this. Like I said, I didn't think this was the way. Queen takes d1 would have fine. He held off too much. That's the thing about these positions of so much tension. You have to know when to let go of the tension. My opponent tried to keep tension because he felt it was in his, which it was, but then when the position uncocked, it was fine. Very nice game. I think the previous video I was having control about, but in this video I think I was practically even, but the position was not. I'm saying it's even because the engine said I don't. I felt I was this, especially after C. But yeah, very interesting. Thank you guys um for watching this game. I really do appreciate. Anytime you guys watch these videos, comment, like, subscribe, so on and so forth. And I'd like to speak live, so you can check Ken and Jason in the next video. Have a great one.